Good morning. I'm Mrs. Perrin from Beardsley Library, and this morning we read this cute book, Somewhere in the Ocean, that introduced us to several different animals that live in our ocean. And now we're going to do a craft. It's a very easy craft, and all you need is an 8.5 by 11 piece of construction paper. Any color you want, because we're going to make fish, and we're going to make them any color we feel like. This is the little fish that I just made. And you can see if you have sequins, you can sparkle him up. He's got a tail and a fin, and this one has a googly eye. But if you don't have googly eyes, we can just cut it out of white cardstock. So I'll put him aside. So here's your 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. So we're going to fold it in the lengthwise right in half, because all we need is the half of the sheet to make the body of our fish. So we got a nice crease there, so if you crease it the other way too, you got a good crease to follow to cut. So here we go. If you can't use scissors, ask an adult that is with you to do this part. Okay? So there we go. We cut that in half. And then we fold it in half and crease it well so it's got a nice sharp crease in the front here. And this is where we're going to make his mouth. You can make the mouth any way you want. This one happens to have this kind of face on him. So I think this guy's going to smile. So we take the scissors and cut in a nice smile. And then also with this particular smile, you could use the piece that you cut out for his fin. Looks like a mustache. So you cut that in half. And if you want, you can make him into a shark too. You could put that at the top, or you can use it for your fin, which I think I'm going to use it for a fin too. So here he is. Here's his smile. And with the other piece of paper that you have left over, we want to make a tail. So part of this is going to be a tail. So the other one that I made just went straight out and straight out, a little bit of curve, and came in, and came in. So then you want to cut that out so we can glue this little V-shaped tail onto our fish before we put any sparkles on him. So here's his little V-shaped tail, and we're going to glue it right in here. So you could take your glue stick, and glue that, open it up and glue that tail on there so he can swim. And then we're going to glue the fin on. I think I'm going to make the fin a little bit smaller. The part we want to glue on is the pointy part, so let's put some glue on that so we can kind of make it stick out just a little bit. That makes it a little bit three-dimensional. So we'll glue that on and press it down, and then when that dries, that will glue there nicely. The next thing I want to do is put an eye on him. So all I did was take a piece of cardstock. I'm going to fold it in half and make two eyes just in case I want to make another fish. And cut out a circle. And then you're going to glue that on too. So get that glue stick open again. Glue on his eye. So then we'll have everything ready to begin decorating. But if you have a googly eye, that's kind of fun to use too, isn't it? So we'll set that aside. Move everything aside so we've got our basic fish here. And when we glue it together, we're going to glue it so it pops out just a little bit, so it gives him he could be able to stand up. So I'm going to just use green to make some accents on him. Here, let me just angle this down a little bit so you can see a little clearer what I'm doing here. So here is our fish, and we will draw some lines on him to make it look more like fins. And I'm going to put some circles on the end because I'm decorating this fish. And then here we go on his tail. Any way that you want to do this is up to you. Use your imagination. Look at that. So then I'm going to draw some dots in here too. I'm making a fancy fish. So then he's got a nice stripy tail and a stripy fin. And so then I'm going to put the center of his eye on, so he can see where he's going. And color that in. So I've got a pretty happy fish here. So the next thing I want to do is glue on some sparkles. And if you don't have sequins or anything sparkly to glue on, that is okay, because you could draw on all sorts of designs with markers or crayons or colored pencils, and that would be so pretty to do that too. Well, I happen to have some sparkles here, so I'm going to put a paper towel down to catch all the extra sparkles that might come off of this. So here's some sparkles. We'll put some on, and then we'll shake off the extra. So here's some more sparkles. Again, if you want to just draw something, you certainly can. So we're going to push those around and pat them down and see how our little fish looks now from the deep blue sea. Wow, look at that. So it's going to take a little while for that to dry, and when it does, then we can glue the end together, and unless you have double stick tape. If you have double stick tape, that's also a good way to glue the back right by his tail together, or to stick it together. We can use some double stick tape. So I'll put that in here. I don't want to move it too much. I'll lose some of my sequins. And then pull it back and push it down. There we go. Look at him. There's our fish from the deep blue sea. One of the fun things you can do with this project is it's finished, just like this. But let me show you what I did with the other ones that I made this morning. I wanted to make an ocean scene, so I did the same thing and made a big fish and a little fish, and cut out a paper bag to make stones, cut out some green cardstock to make some seaweed. And so then I had a whole scene of our fish, mama fish and a baby fish in the deep blue sea. And then you could also add some more of the brown paper bag. You could make another rock here. You could put some sequins in if you wanted, or you could even make bubbles coming up from their mouths if you wanted. Here's this little guy. I could draw some bubbles all the way up to the top of the page. And then the mama's bubbles. There'll be bigger bubbles when she breathes. You could draw anything you want. You could draw starfish on the bottom and make this into a big scene to put on your wall in your house to decorate your room. So here's fish swimming in the deep blue sea. Now that was a fun project to do. I like my bright yellow one. I like my blue one. And you can make it just like this, or take it further and make it a whole scene. So would be a great thing to do to go along with this fun book that we read this morning. So I hope you enjoyed this craft today, and see you again next week. Bye-bye.